I'm gonna join back in. Let's get the show going.
Other people.
Oh, hey, what's the deal, you two? We're back with the Big Gamers Weekly podcast. We're live. So, like I said, we haven't all got the chance collectively to give our thoughts on this whole, Tomb Raider, debacle. So we all going to talk about it for a little while and talk about a host of other things. But yeah, we all haven't talked about it. So whoever want to go first, hop in first. I'm still posting this shit live as we speak.
Okay. Well, I got a lot to say on this, so I guess I'll go first. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I think there's good and bad stuff about this. No doubt about it. The wording that Phil Spencer used was obviously, I'm just gonna say, was probably the wrong wording that he used, or maybe the Rise and Dead Rising 3 only had a year time deal as well, and they just chose not to publish that out of respect or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, you look at it. Okay, originally I thought, I don't know whose mic that is, but damn. Originally I thought, I was like, well, maybe this situation where, somebody had to mess up somewhere along the line. Damn, something's going on. But anyway, so either someone messed up along the line, right? Like someone, like, this shouldn't have been leaked out, or they shouldn't have said anything this early, right? But then I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I was like, well, a lot of the Sony fans thought that this was a 3-month time deal, 6 months tops. So having it be a year makes it that much longer of a wait. Second thing is, can you imagine the crucifixion Microsoft would face if it comes out afterwards, after it already released, that it's a year wait? I think that, they're going to be accused of lying to consumers, anti-consumerism, this, that, and the other thing. So I think that in that aspect, it's probably good that they give people 4 months advance notice that they can either wait for it for 2016 if that's what they so choose to do, or they can just buy it on Xbox One. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like, I saw a lot of people, and I was like, why are people getting so crazy about this? Like, out of all people, you would think that I would be the one that would be upset, but I was actually rather calm about it. I was like, okay, look, people were saying stuff like Microsoft should owe us stuff now. Microsoft should do this. Microsoft should do that. And my whole thing was Microsoft locked down a top 10 franchise, and that's what Tomb Raider is. It's a top 10 all-time franchise, and we get to play it a full year before the competition on console, and that, I think, is something that's really good. Like, there's no win for that for Sony, guys. There's none, because guess what? I'm going to be tweeting out pictures of this game nonstop. I'm reviewing this game, gameplay previews. There's going to be Twitch streams, not from me, but everybody's going to be Twitch streaming in it. There's going to be walkthroughs. This game is going to be spoiled for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Come next, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be all over the place. And just as far as I'm concerned, like, I wouldn't be thinking that as a win. Again, like I said, obviously the wording that they used was kind of messed up, and I don't agree with that at all. But I will say, hey, at least they were transparent with it 4 months in advance to give people some kind of idea on when to, what they can spend their money on. And it's still an attractive option for Xbox One owners, or if you want to own an Xbox One, because guess what? Xbox One's the only place you can play that this holiday, along with Halo 5 and Forza. So it's still very attractive when you look at the competition, because Sony literally has nothing. So I still think that, although, like I said, because people are going to be like, damage control, right? And it was messed up the way they worded it. They should have just said this from the beginning. Let me be on record as saying that. But at the same time, better late than never, and better late than after the fact, because they would have got totally roughed up by the media and by gamers after the fact, and I'm 100% sure of that. And the fact that now people realize they have to wait an entire year, obviously, look, the PS4 owners that are like, yeah, I'll just wait for the definitive version or this or that or the other, they weren't going to buy an Xbox One for this game anyway. So people need to stop worrying about the PS4 fanboy reaction and just worry about your own enjoyment and reaction, because the bottom line is those hardcore PS4 fanboys aren't going to be interested in Xbox One no matter what it does.
Well, exactly.
I don't care if the thing shits gold bars. They're still gonna go PlayStation 1. You know what I mean? PS1. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
If you look at the numbers, crap, you're right. And I just want to pinpoint that point while you're on it, is that 1 million copies, basically, give or take, of Bloodborne were sold. That was the hardcore PS4 fan and the casual PS4 fan.
A lot of Japanese fan, too.
Right. Right. So my point being,
they include
12 months,
some of the hardcore.
12 months after this thing gets released, you're not going to get a full million that are going to grab it on the PS4. You're only talking about a couple 100,000 copies are going to be sold at that point. It's trivial. It really doesn't make any difference. Now, I will say this. Okay, I've been watching a lot of videos, doing a lot of reading. It is business, okay? It's all business, but there is something called dirty business, okay? And what Crystal Dynamics kind of did, I think, was a little dirty because the only thing I don't agree with you, Crab. I think everything you said is right. Numbers are right. You're right on the 12 months. That's as good as an exclusive, anyways. But where it's dirty is Microsoft making the investment, being the publisher, etc. You don't come out and say this now. You should wait, even if it was a day, a week after it released in November. That's when you make the statement. Hey, by the way, now it's out on Xbox One. It's releasing on the rival console 12 months from now. Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? It's like that's how you do it, and that's how you jab that knife into the side and twist it.
I get that, but don't you think that people at that point are going to accuse Microsoft of lying and misleading consumers?
No, because they said holiday now on 2 major events. They've never said exclusive, and we know that everybody, when they mean exclusive, they say PC and console exclusive. They didn't say that. They said holiday. So, you know, it was up in the air. I just think by releasing this information 4 months earlier, nothing changes the actual sales figures. The sales figures are the same regardless. So it's not like Microsoft's going to lose a lot of money, but it's just it doesn't make Microsoft. They look foolish now. They look more foolish now. I would rather look like the bad guy. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather look innocent on the street than guilty in jail. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that. It's just. I don't know.
You know what? I fuck that. Let me say something. Listen, I don't fuck this. Like I said, all that, you know, for us to consumer. Even with Sony with their time exclusive DLC and all that shit. Even with the DLC, which you know is coming to the Xbox One, you didn't see Activision coming out and telling Xbox One owners you can get down with the DLC on this such and such day before the goddamn game came out. That's some bullshit. My thing is this: if you want to fucking do the deal, do the deal. Lock it up. Fuck all that time-sensitive DLC, because there's already a perception when it comes to the Xbox with the hardcore gaming community is what is the incentive to own the Xbox One? It's already perceived as being the weaker console. It's already perceived, how you quote unquote, as being anti-consumerism. You know what I mean? So it's like the attractive point, like I said, which sells hardware, are their exclusives. You know what I mean? What separates the PS4 and the Xbox Ones? You know, we can go tout about the features, but people don't know about it until they get the motherfucker inside their home. You don't know what you can do, you know, when sitting inside that ugly green box until you get the motherfucker inside your house. Okay, so what separates these two consoles are their exclusives. So it felt like me personally, you know what I mean? I'm just going by what Phil said. He said he wouldn't invest in the IP to make it better on a rival platform. What the fuck is that? So when you say that right there, you know, we touting this shit. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm just going, like I said, I never really paid Microsoft as being dishonest, as being liars. You know what I mean? You know, when they said exclusive holiday, it's not all the way exclusive, but it's going to come to PC, Windows 10 or whatever the fuck. I was already expecting that right there. You know what I mean? But regardless of what you may say about Sony, whether their financial strengths or whatever the case may be, they went in there and they did the deal with Capcom. Capcom came out right away and said, you know, we thought, I mind, maybe, you know, now Capcom do Wicked Ultra Street Fighter / the Turbo Edition for the Xbox One. No, they came out and said no iteration of this game will see the light of the day on the Xbox One console. You know what I mean? So, you know, they did the deal. They have an exclusive. You know, their exclusive stayed to their platform. And for that, I got to take my hat off and give them credit where credit's due. They lock whether you like their games, their bullshit games, they keep them on their platform. Just because we don't like them, they have, you know, a bunch of dick lickers out there that like their games, which is cool. You know what I mean? We like our games, you know, and they like their games. You know, I would never be a PlayStation only type dude. I don't care for them type. Like what's that shit? Dragon Bloodborne? Like, that's not for me. You know, that hit, run back, take 5 steps back, hit, run back. I don't like shit like that. You know what I mean? Even what's that? The Last Guardian. That shit doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. So, you know what I mean? So I will always be an Xbox dude. But when I said this shit here did more harm than good. I understand Xbox gamers get their own, you know, but the reason why you're supposed to be investing in it is because you want to get people that don't own your console, regardless, you know, because people at the end of the day, they're going to pop shit. They're going to own both of these motherfuckers. It's like last generation. You know what I mean, gamers. You know, and they're gonna have they may be PlayStation dudes, but they're gonna go home and cut their Xbox. Look at Jabari, the biggest fucking pony in the world, but he has an Xbox One. You know, people that really pop shit are people that can't afford to own both consoles. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about.
Here's my take on it. Next gen. When I first heard it, I felt like you. I felt like, you know, Microsoft let us down in such a way. But then I started to think about it, and I started to allow it to sink in. That's 12 whole months.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Of it being on one platform. Think about it. Like, I mean, it's just like you know how you eat at your mom's house on Thanksgiving? You have she have all the turkey, the ham, you know what I'm saying, chicken, and all the little fixings. I'm talking the macaroni, cheese, and collard greens, all that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be able to enjoy this feast for 12 months.
12 years.
Sucking our teeth and all this stuff. You know, we're going to be, you know, making that noise. You know what I'm saying? Eating off of this game for a whole. But then we're going to give the ponies our scraps. You know how you give your dog the table scraps?
Okay.
They're going to enjoy that sloppy seconds, man. That's what I'm sitting here saying.
Okay, take what you're just saying.
So we're going to
take what you're just saying. Right? Take what you're just saying, right? All that money they put in taking this bitch out on a date, getting hot and ready, all that money they spent on that shit right there, they could have went and bought some intellectual IPs. Capcom was having a fire sale. They was trying to keep their doors open. You know what I mean? If my thing is Microsoft, if you claim you're in it to win it, then be in it to win it. You got to spend money to make money. You know what I mean? Crytek was their doors were damn near closed. Go in and buy a couple. You know what I mean?
They did try to get the IP.
I agree with you. I don't think that, you know, when I start to think about it, I don't think that it's a lack of effort. I don't think that they didn't try to make it exclusive. You know, and that's the thing I'm sitting here. So it had to be some type of.
Let me tell you something. If Money Hungry EA made Titanfall exclusive,
yeah. But what I'm
saying,
after the backlash, it was exclusive at first.
Oh, fuck the backlash. People gonna pop shit regardless.
Listen to what I'm saying. But after that big old backlash, I think they went back and restructured.
You see the backlash they're getting now? Motherfucker, they have stock of the goddamn internet.
I mean, I understand, but they went back and restructured that.
Fuck being nice.
This was a Don look, you guys have to remember who was in charge for this deal. Don Matrick, who wanted something to go up against Uncharted. He actually was a good planner for this kind of stuff, and he's a businessman. As a businessman, you sell the most copies of a game within the first year. Okay, he locked it down for a year. He does his whole.
I don't know.
Who the fuck comes out and says this before the game even comes out?
Here's my take on it. First off, I don't think Microsoft knew exactly what they were doing, and they announced it on their own because they this week because they have Windows, and I think that they wanted the Windows exclusive. The talk telling that it's going on Windows 10. They're having an event this Tuesday, I think.
Microsoft didn't announce it. Square Enix did. They announced it.
I know, but Microsoft must have gave them a go-ahead because if they didn't lift the gag order and they did that, there'd be a lot of unrest going on. So Microsoft, to me, missed the boat here. I said this on my Twitter. You can't be perfect. I think that they let the fans out to dry a little with this one, with the comments, with what Phil said. I mean, basically, who lost in all this, maybe, or if you want to be real, is that Sony fanboys said, "Ha ha ha, it's coming to our thing." The reality is
exactly.
A year. You're talking
that's
about
a long time to wait.
I was thinking about like with screenshots. We were going crazy for 3 months not having something. Okay? I mean talking every day. Where's our screenshots? Where's this? Where's that? That's a year's time. That game's not going to sell well on PS4. It's going to be over and done with. If you really want it, you don't want it on Xbox, you can get it on PC.
Like Mass Effect 2, it came out a year ahead of time on Xbox 360. By the time Mass Effect 2 released on PS3, nobody cared, nobody bought it.
So, yeah, exactly. I find that the deal holds weight in that regard, but I do find it that the fans took a little bit of the brunt from the comments that Microsoft made. They're not perfect. You know, they're gonna have a screw up, and this was one. And that, to me, you can't bury them about it. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, the timing was that.
Why not just do the deal? You know, look at Nintendo. Look at Nintendo.
Well, maybe they were gonna wait until they could have announced it after in December.
Yeah, but look at Nintendo.
They could have done that.
As backwards as Nintendo is. Well, Platinum Games, what do? They went in, they locked down.
That's a small potatoes game though. Nobody else wanted it. We're talking.
I mean, people, you always want what you can have.
The game never was for sale outright.
No, seriously, nobody wanted Bayonetta 2. No publisher would touch it. Nintendo was like, hey, well, we're short on games. We'll take it.
But Bayonetta 2 was a nice game. I played a little bit of that.
It is good, but no publisher wanted to take a risk.
It's a shit game, you know, regardless of who wanted it or whatever. But what I'm saying is they did the deal. My thing is, if you because I don't really see this money that they're spending on this time shit. We could have had fucking Phantom Dust.
But how do you know how much money is
$4 million? That's what I'm saying at the end of the day. You're bickering over $4 million for your own intellectual property.
Well, hold up. That was just rumor, by the way. That was like.
That's what the developers said.
Yeah, that's what they said after they got canned. I mean.
Yeah, well, they didn't come out that they got canned until a little while later on. But
I don't know about
the game that they wanted to make, they couldn't do it with the budget that was given. They asked for $4 million. What I'm saying, I'm but the same thing.
He's clapped up, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but listen, the same shit that I give Sony for that time, DLC, and all that money that you're spending on that time. Because either way, my thing's invest in your own shit. Then, that's all that I'm saying. If you're gonna spend, and listen, they're advertising the game. That's more expensive than fucking making the games these days.
My opinion. Well, let me ask you something, Zaire. What if they had released it and then announced? Because listen, in my opinion, it was always a 1-year exclusive, and maybe they got caught with the wording and they were afraid to come out. Whatever. They came out 2 days ago, wherever it was. It's done. It's done. Well, let's just say as a team they said, let's not do this. Let's everyone think that it's a Tomb Raider exclusive for Xbox. Let everyone, we're on the wind or whatever. And then they announce it in December after it's been, after a month it's been released. Would that have been a better strategy? Because in my opinion, they could have done that. But
I think wait till after the game comes out. I've been gaming a long time.
You would have waited till after the game was out, right? I would have
advertised. They got the game on their sizzle reel. They got the game in front of their box arts. They're co-publishing their game. They're taking on a big financial responsibility for it. That's not business there. If we're in bed together, or whatever the case may be, they're looking to sell consoles.
I feel the same way you do, Z. 110%. I would have released the information if need be after, but let's just look at the lemons that we've been handed, okay? Which is really lemonade, because I said this on Zaire's channel this week, which we'll get into that show later. But what I did mention on Z's show was, does anyone remember a game that came out 3 weeks ago called Batman Arkham Knight? Ain't nobody talking about that.
Yeah.
It's already old. What I'm saying is, you already whatever was done, whether it was Don Matrix
it's spoiled.
It's already spoiled. It's used. And Showstopper, I gave you credit on this. You said it many Big Gamer Small Talks ago. You said it about 4 months ago. You said we are in a wham bam, thank you ma'am, state of affairs with video games, where basically, unless it's something that's massive multiplayer, like Halo's going to be, that kind of caliber. Everything is old in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks.
Especially a single-player story game.
I told somebody I was still playing Witcher 3. They looked at me like I had some rare skin disease. I was like, I'm sorry, man, my bad. I didn't want to play
it too.
You'll be playing that game for the rest of your life.
Listen, that's the gift that keeps on giving. That's better than the Jelly of the Month Club.
I ain't get the expansion yet. I need to get that.
Except for those damn achievements, man. Them things are impossible.
Oh, you know what? Let me say this at the end of the day, to add to what everyone was saying, and everyone's giving valid things. But what I'm saying is, they're looking for this game to sell them consoles at the end of the day. They like I said, they add this to they put this game next to their Halo. You know what I mean? So they really, it's next to their Gears of War. This is what the perfect holiday lineup. Microsoft makes the big, every year around the holidays they make this big push. They're co-publishing, or they are publishing the game. Not even they're publishing the goddamn game. So they are taking on a financial thing. My thing is, if you're going to do that which is an established IP, which is cool. My thing is then invest in your own at the end of the day. That's one of the biggest knocks that Microsoft gets, that they don't have their own besides Halo, Gears, and
But isn't that like what Phil Spencer's been talking and what he's been doing? If you look at what he's been doing, he's been backing away from the third-party stuff. This was a Don Matrix setup.
I understand,
And the money that was paid for this was probably paid well in advance, because this game's been in development for years, and so before the Xbox One even came out, that's where the money went. So it's hard to say, under Matrix already had the deal set up. Oh well, whatever it was already in place, and so since Phil's taken over, you've noticed they've said, oh, we're not going to spend $50 million on Call of Duty DLC. Well, we're not going to spend. Yeah, exactly, Showstopper. I see. Me and you are thinking alike on this.
Hey, we here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You ain't seen my hands over the eyes, but it was there.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. See, you go ahead, Showstopper. Finish it off, man.
But I was just gonna say, I'm just looking at how Phil Spencer is taking a direction. He really is backing off on a lot of third-party deals, and by him doing that, and you see him doing that, he's investing in his own portfolio. That's what he calls it, gaming portfolio that he wants. He wants to build a good lineup. So we just got to wait and see and give him an opportunity. He came and inherited a whole lot of stuff already. All these deals and stuff that's already been in place and have contracts to it. He got to honor them. So once those are out, we're going to really see what Phil Spencer is able to do and where the direction he's taking.
Wow. But I'm just saying, but now I feel like waiting for greatness. Like at the end of the day, man. And again, if you can't be judgmental of company is perfect. No company is perfect. You know what I mean? I just don't like the way it was handled. I don't like the way.
I don't like the way it was handled.
I agree 100%. And see, because this is the thing. Like, people are like, oh, well, what's damage?
You're right. Next year, I'm not going to give a shit about it.
Exactly. But check this out, right? There's really, really good news in this. One of the parts of having an exclusive for a year is they built it specifically for Xbox One. I mean, to me, that means a lot. You're getting all the P's for all the P babies out there. You know what I'm saying? You're getting a really gorgeous game that's taking advantage of the Xbox One and DirectX and all this kind of cool stuff. And so I think that takes some precedent in this as well. Like, we're getting a really good. This isn't some shitty port. Hey, Mooch, this isn't a 360 port. Hey,
got bodied over that comment.
Listen, thank you for that segue, because let me just say this much. Since I made that comment on Next Gen's show, I've watched 3 other shows with people saying that same thought, in case anyone was catching up. But let me just hop on that for a second. So if Phil Spencer, so far the one thing with Phil Spencer is he's a genius with the play on words, okay? But the one thing he's done is he said, I will be damned if I would put that on another console. He knows if it's coming in 12 months. Was he not there? He had nothing to do with it. So what I said to Z was, again, everybody who wants to record me, by the way, get my good side. All right, listen to me. If you're going to think about it, why wouldn't they port over? Because Microsoft is doing the publishing rights for the Xbox One game. The 360 we already know is being done by company B. Who is it? Crap, you know who's doing the 360
I think it's Nixus or whatever it is.
Yeah,
let's just say the same.
Nixus.
Yeah, they're the same ones that did the definitive version on Xbox One.
Let me make something very clear here. So, this is PlayStation 4 has been doing this all year long. Okay, what have they been doing? They've been taking things like God of War 3 and just taking a 720 game and bringing it with a little splash of paint to 1080p. All I said on Next Gen's channel is, if Bill Spencer, what he said was correct in the fact that he'd be damned if he would ever help another platform in a game. Microsoft's been doing ridiculous amounts of coding and ridiculous amounts of support with Crystal Dynamics, and it's all listed in the Game Informer March edition if you want to look at the magazine or if you want to actually look it up online. They are all quoted as saying Microsoft has done ridiculous amounts of work with them. So all I was saying to Next Gen was, it is feasible that the game that will go to PlayStation 4 will be the Rise of the Tomb Raider 360 version ported over at a 1080p 30 frame per second. Now, apparently, that's just hysterical, and it just calls for cursing me out for 11 minutes. But I think that somewhat holds water. And after I said that on your show, Next Gen, 3 other shows, they said my thought. They didn't mention me, but they mentioned that same thought process. Because it holds water. Why wouldn't it? PlayStation's been doing it all year with all their remasters.
Well, this is, you know what's funny, Mooch, is this, okay? Remember Ninja Gaiden 2 came out on Xbox 360, right? And that was an exclusive, and it says only on Xbox, right? And then PlayStation 3 got something called Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, right? Which was a changed enough version to be on that console without it being taking away an exclusive from the Xbox 360's version. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
That's what they did. It was like they got the Sigma version. It's different enough. They reversed some stuff, did something else different. You know what I'm saying? So I can see what you're coming from, where it could be something where they could get away with it being slightly different. I'm dancing with you on that. Will it? I mean, anyway, that's just your opinion. Like, if everybody was gonna like flip out over opinions, I think that's kind of ridiculous.
If we're gonna flip out over opinions, then YouTube and Twitter are just shot.
Let me tell you something.
Absolutely.
In the end, nobody's going to give a fuck in a year. We're not going to be talking about that.
No one. And you're right. We're not going to be. Next year we're going to be talking about Gears 4.
Exactly. Little Big Planet 4.
You guys remember? Listen, guys, yeah, right. You guys remember Plants vs Zombies? Xbox got it 6 to 9 months. No, 9 months. Yeah, 6 or 9 months ahead of time.
6 months, yeah.
Then it was like coming out on PlayStation 4, and we all loved that game because we got it when it was released. Yeah. But it was not a big deal for PlayStation people.
They gave it to PlayStation owners at first, didn't they? Like,
they gave it. It's like, here, you have it free.
Yeah, they were like, here you go, yeah, because at that time, nobody, like again, nobody really cared, and that goes both ways too. Like, what the hell, like that No Man's Sky or whatever, that'll eventually make its way to Xbox One.
The thing is, we in a right now generation. Everything has to be right now. If it ain't right now, you know what I'm saying? It's
like that old song, anymore. Right Now by
yeah, right.
Because I mean, you can go to a movie and and the movie come out and you see it. Right now, then it's not the same enjoyment after seeing people don't spoil it and talked about it.
Yeah,
you finally watch it when you didn't get a chance to.
That is a great point. Like, look, I'm just being honest too. Even as a mostly Xbox dude, let's say, even though this won't happen, let's say Street Fighter V was gonna. They were like, okay, a year later, dude, I don't care. Like, I tell Capcom to pack sand. Capcom, pack sand, bitch. I don't want that damn game a year later. Get out of here. Come on.
Said it on Next Gen's channel, and it's not the same caliber game. But who the heck in March 2016, 1 year after its release, how many Xbox One fans, any of us here, are going to go buy Bloodborne if it came to Xbox One? Maybe one? No. Maybe one of us? I don't even know.
Be me.
Yeah, I have. I don't want
to. Here's the thing: if you really wanted that game, you just bought a PS4 for it.
Yeah, right.
That's the point that I always try to make. Look, people are like, "Oh man, you're salty because Street Fighter V is only on PS4." I'm like, dude, I have a PS4. If I want the game, I'll buy the game. It's like people don't understand that this is how a normal gamer thinks. If there's a game, I'm not going to sit there and fight buying a console because I'm a little bitch. I'm going to buy the console. Right? That's the main thing. And anybody that does it is a little bitch.
Maybe that's right.
I'm going to say this. Y'all enjoy that I Am Bread until it come out then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I Am Bread.
Enjoy that.
I Am Bread. And just on a side note, even though we are a podcast that takes shots and stuff like this, it is cool to see that you don't even have a YouTube channel and people take shots at you.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell, like, you're in people's heads and they're worried about when you do have a channel. I mean, come on, dude. I'm a little bit jealous because nobody's done video. Well, I guess nobody's done videos about me in a while. You know what I mean? It's
you're king of the hill, crap. You're already king of the hill.
Right.
No, man. But dude,
you're on the front page, bro.
But Mooch, man, you don't even have a channel. Do you know how ridiculous that is?
Yeah, I don't even.
You don't have a channel, and people are making videos about you. That is something unprecedented, I think.
Yeah,
like people are like that Mooch guy, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have a channel.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna get any beef video off the guy because he's got no channel.
That's why I can't even go after him. One guy said it to me.
What are they gonna get? This is what I don't understand. What are they gonna get? A tweet
Yeah, exactly, man. Come on, man.
People were saying to me, like, how come you don't argue back with him? I'm like, what do you want me to write an essay to him on Twitter? I'm not gonna do that shit.
Yeah, 147 words.
Boy, come on, because he'll do a video about that trash. Like, look at
he
this.
played himself with that one.
Corporate slave.
Yeah, corporate slave.
I told you, man, that's some corny motherfuckers, man. Let me see what I'm talking about. I'm fucking with them. That's some corny dudes, man.
Oh,
they
my
can't
God.
Yo, listen, they can't keep our names out their mouth to save lives, man.
Hey, you know what?
Channels.
The big dogs got the targets, man. See, I was away for the weekend, man, and I was at a graveyard, and it turned out that it was actually just Hard Eight's channel. So
I mean, I'm saying, man, you got like 30,000 subscribers. And
almost 40,000. You know, and he pops up on my YouTube thing like recommended. I'm like, why the fuck would this jackass be recommended for me? You know what I'm saying?
That's a problem.
And then and then the dude's got almost 40,000, and he's got like no, and that's what happened. You see people like reaching for that beef stuff, right? And that's when you know you got no content because guess what? That Xbox One hate that was driving YouTube is over. That day is fucking gone and done. Kiss that shit goodbye. And these idiots that talk about us and they, that's because the Xbox, the little bump that they used to get from hating on that is over because it's basically on equal terms now. Yes, the PS4 has sold more, but the hate is dying out. And there's more. You see all the pro.
How could you hate this holiday? How could you hate
all the pro Xbox, all the new guys? Come on, man. The day of hating the Xbox, just like the way it used to, is over. You guys are gonna have to come up with a new shtick. You want to be Oprahs or talking about men and their PCs and this and that and expose well, guess what? Expose my left nut, bitch. Seriously. And hey, listen. I never take shots. I never take shots. Hey, I never take shots, but check this out. Right? And I never cared about my channel or subscribers or how many I got, but I am happy that I get more views than any of them motherfuckers, and I'm about to pass a donkey-faced motherfucker in subscribers, even though he was probably about 10,000 ahead of me about a year ago. So that dude can go fuck off. He can go fuck off and go hide and cry like a little bitch.
Well, let me tell you something.
Call him a donkey-faced motherfucker.
Let's be real here. How could you hate on what the Xbox is doing? You
can't. You can't.
You look from August 4th, Gamescom. You look at games, everything that they're offering, the rare replay. We can go through this whole thing. They're offering, they got rare replay. They got Gears. That's just in August. And they got Forza 6. They got the new controller. They got the new, they got Tomb Raider, Halo 5. I mean,
backwards compatibility.
Backwards compatibility. You
the
can
new
go,
controller.
I write the lists. I can't even fit the whole fucking thing in the list. I have to edit.
I also want to say the rare replay commercial was brilliant. I love the whole I don't know if you guys saw
that.
That was nostalgia in and of itself. Like all those games, 30 games, $30. I've never seen anything such a good deal as that. I mean, that's gonna do well. That's gonna do, especially in the UK.
What do you think? What do you think that will do? What do you think?
I would say this year alone, it's gonna do 1.5 to 2 million easy.
Yeah, I can see million. I can see million.
I don't see it that high.
Yeah,
I can see it a million.
1 to 1.5 easy.
I got it going close to a million.
I'm telling you, it's going to do really well. It's going to do well in Europe.
It's going to do well in Europe.
It's going to turn a profit like this. It's going to, they just put the older games here. They didn't do nothing to them. It's just the support. So
Xbox has a lot to be excited about, man.
Yeah, but
there's nothing to really hate on at this point. It's went through its shit.
That's what they do though. When they channel strong, they either hit on the Xbox or they come at the Big Game of Small Talk podcast. It never fails.
They can hate on me. I don't care.
It never
I got a
fucking
question about
fails.
Tomb Raider before we move on.
Yeah,
is that built with DirectX 12?
Nope.
I don't know if it's DirectX 12, but I think it's DirectX 11.
I think because it's going to be 360. I mean, it's going to be 360.
It's not built. It's that they're two different teams, two different engines, two different.
I'm talking about the one that's for the one.
No,
I don't think
it's optimized with the
Crystal Crystal Dynamics built that, and the Xbox One was the platform. I'm not sure exactly what version of
From what I'm
DirectX.
hearing, DirectX 12, when you're really going to see, like Fable Legends has been ported to DirectX 12, but it's not a ground-up, built-up game for
Okay,
DirectX 12.
is it built with DirectX 11? Point.
Yeah,
Probably,
probably, yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
But
if
the
you look
real
at the,
DirectX 12 games will be in 2016.
yeah, did you see? Like, here's the thing though. Like, as a podcast, right? We get told how full of shit we are by haters and things like that, right? What did we say? DirectX 12 is going to come, and we're going to see a bump in resolution and frame rate and things like this. And what happened? PES Soccer 1080p, Metal Gear Solid 1080p, right? It's like we say this stuff and get called clowns. We got called clowns for saying DirectX 12 would come to the Xbox One.
No, yeah,
right?
I got called. Yeah,
And we were
that
right.
was hard.
It
We
was
were
true.
100%
It was true.
right.
DirectX
We got
12.
a whole bunch of hate off of that. Like, it ain't no.
We were
Yeah,
right about
listen,
that.
by them
It'd be
same, by them
aspects
same
of DirectX 12, but not full DirectX.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Well,
yeah,
Gaff was behind a lot of that too. I remember when that post came out where that guy like from AMD listed Xbox as 12.0 or whatever, fully compatible to DirectX 12.
It's
There was a lot of damage control.
You know what? Hey, Tim, at the end of the day, you know what I said to myself, and that's not claiming to be clear with slang, but to me, it just common fucking sense. We talking about Microsoft right after the Xbox One came out. Was 6 months later they were talking about a new API or something, like in January. Not even no, it was like January, February. Not even 6 months. And I said to myself, this is Microsoft's own hardware, you know. So why the hell they put out a console 4 months before, and they're coming out with with a new API? That to me that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
And and Microsoft, I've been saying for me, they never said what GPU was inside the goddamn.
well, that talk, who knows? We'll never know. All we know is that.
Well,
Dude, we should have, hey, let's get
Is that-
Xbox fan on here.
yeah, you know what I mean? They
Let's get
just,
Mr. X Media going.
yeah, yeah.
Let's stoke those fires, guys.
Yeah, but those
We get him on this show, bro.
Hey,
Man.
you know what the funniest thing about this is, right? We get called clowns and all this stuff, but I
Yeah.
never bought into that Kool-Aid. I was the one saying I don't believe that bullshit. I never believed it. I thought it was crazy. I thought people just didn't need it, right? Like it wasn't mature. Anybody could see that the Xbox One wasn't where it was going to be, and now we look at where these things are a year and a half later, and we see how much further the Xbox One has gone. And that new user interface, which is basically just Windows 10, looks
Fast as
phenomenal. It's fast as
Yeah.
hell.
There's some news that just came out on it too. I actually posted it. Like the way you can get your pins. It sounds like it's really like you know how when you get your pins you have to go to the left. Well, now you just hit a button and all your pins will come up. So let's say you have Tomb Raider, and it's one of your favorites. There's no like, and you're in the middle of the thing. Like if you were all the way to the right, you had to go all the way back or whatever. Now it's just one click of a button. They really are emphasizing speed with it.
And developers also can post under the game
with
things.
patches, with the patches.
Yeah, like when a patch is out or notes and stuff. Yeah, like I think that's phenomenal. And then the whole Cortana aspect is really
the
phenomenal.
Xbox One's the shit, bro.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, that again, like what we were saying earlier, there is absolutely no reason to hate it, and that's what's going to do in a lot of these channels that have built themselves up lately as of hating on Xbox. And so, what they can try to hate on us or whatever. I mean, it's just a conglomeration of a couple.
They're
of
losing
things now.
that Xbox hate viewership, but you know what? They should, because, like I said, there's no reason to hate on this. This is all said and done. You want to talk about DRM? Go fuck yourself. It's 2013.
You know what?
2013.
At
Come on.
the end of the day, we all quote unquote for taking this part of this console war for shits and giggles. You know, I don't take it too. I think you guys don't take it too.
It is. It's gaming. Jesus Christ. I mean,
But I yearn for the day where this generation, where this age gen goes back to talking about games. You know, we can leave the cells alone, leave this resolution. Like I said, once you take the resolution thing from, I think, with the Xbox is down by less than 500,000 here in North America. You know, and once all that shit goes away, could we get to talking about what games, what games you looking forward to, or who got the better exclusives, and this has been a weird goddamn generation, man. I ain't lying.
But Zaire, here's the
It's
problem.
been a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, but the problem is we can't. The Sony guys can't get into that conversation because they don't got shit to talk about.
Mm-mm.
Think about it. They got
that
no
is a good
features,
point.
and they got nothing. Like, let's just say right now, all of us were just huge PlayStation fans. We'd be like, I'm like, yo, Tim Dog, so hit me up. What are you going to be playing this fall?
Oh shit! You know what?
I hate that Mooch. I hate that Mooch.
That Mooch is a motherfucker, man.
Is an asshole.
Stupid. What a jerk. He
I'm
said
gonna
if
be
ever gonna
playing-
get a 360 version, I'm a dumb motherfucker.
Uh,
The channel's
that's-
dying. Let's talk about big gamer
don't-
small talk.
The thing is, Z, you're 100% right. We want to get back into the game, and luckily, we are somewhat fans. We're fans of a company that is giving us games and features every month.
That's true.
And that's why we're like, yo, can we get back to the games? And they're like, they don't even know what we're talking about.
I'll be honest. My pre-order list right now is fucking huge, man. It's like
I
already bought Forza 6.
it's Forza 6, Rare Replay, Gears Ultimate, Halo
Yeah,
5,
it's not on the list. Everybody listening.
Tomb Raider.
Fable Legends.
I got Gears Ultimate. I got.
I'm waiting to see. I heard
Back with
Fable
2K
Legends is
this
going to
year.
do a physical edition.
Battlefront.
Yeah, Battlefront I have pre-ordered as well. I have.
I got Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six, 2. What else you got?
Rainbow Six is out too, man. We're gonna be poor.
All right, here's
Mad Max. Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I got Tomb Raider and I got.
What else you got?
I got Battlefront.
All right,
and-
let's just say you had 3 games you could pick, even with third party. Let's pick that. Let's do that. You have 3 games to
Three
pick.
games.
All the games that you got.
I
We're
go
all
first.
not rich. We all can't buy it. Listen, I try to buy everything. I try, but it's hard. So let's just say you could, like, we're normal
Me,
people.
here you go. My
3
My
games.
three games. My 3 right here. Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
NBA 2K16.
Oh,
And fucking Jesus Christ, motherfucking in the ass. Hey, I want to say Fable. I take Fable.
Okay.
oh, damn, nice.
I'll go Halo, Tomb Raider, and Forza. Those would be the
That's where
3.
I'm going.
Yeah,
This is mine's right here. It'd be Halo, Tomb Raider, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Syndicate.
I'm done with
That's
this.
a tough question. I think I would definitely go Halo.
Hit you in the mouth.
I might have to get Battlefront over.
I forgot about Battlefront. Fuck. Oh man. But
Battlefront.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah, I forgot about Battlefront.
Battlefront is good, but man, I'm not passing up Halo and Forza and
No way.
Tomb Raider. Yeah, those
Okay,
are like,
so we got Forza.
Yo, just so I don't sound like a
Battlefront
complete
come out
herb, I'm gonna switch. I'll switch up one. I'm gonna go Tomb Raider, Halo, and I was gonna be a complete Microsoft herb. I was gonna say Gears Ultimate, but that's just a given. I think I'm going with Fallout 4 probably.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to the 220 plus people watching us right
wow.
now, man. You guys.
Oh, they
Yeah,
tuned
there's a
in
lot
to
of
hear-
games, man.
They wanted to hear the rebuttal. That's why.
Hey, you know what? I
tuned
told them since early this morning. I tweeted out that there would be some shots taken and some shit talk, and I don't do that very often. And hopefully that was worth a little bit of price of admission. But hey, look,
you missed it.
hey, but seriously, man, to talk shit about someone who's not even or doesn't even have a YouTube channel is the most idiotic fucking thing I've ever seen.
That's when you know that motherfucking channel was a snooze fest.
It is, dude. Next thing you know, dude, you gotta do a burial on that, like you did. I see
Hey,
you
you know what?
fucking bitch 'em.
Hey, I can't
That's
even.
what
I
that
talked
nigga
about
did.
somebody that didn't have a YouTube channel on my.
That's what dick pullers do.
But it was
That's
a Tony
what that nigga
comment.
did.
Though. It was classic.
Yeah. Oh, that comic, yeah, that crap. Mooch.
That dude said. That dude said, "I will kill you.
Listen,
Cut off your limbs
Hey,
and
listen.
eat your eyes out like a man."
Hey, listen, when Moose said that shit right there, you see my face, I was like Scooby Doo. I was like Scooby Doo.
Said I was
like,
eyes out
yo,
like a
you can see my face. It was gold. Yo,
It was.
I said, I was like Scooby Doo. Said, "God damn, Mooch done damaged the gold."
Yo, you wait.
Hey, no, it's okay, Mooch. You had your from a technical or from
Yeah,
a
from a legal standpoint.
From a legal standpoint,
Yeah.
yeah.
That shit, if that shit comes true, I'm doing a 24-hour fucking show. On my channel.
You want to know what's funny?
Live from New York.
I bet he's listening right now.
Said Mooch gonna do a motherfucking live from New York.
Yo, I am gonna be wild and out. You wait and see. You wait. It's gonna be like that little shitty IGN like subcap, and it's gonna be like, just found out at IGN that the PlayStation 4 edition will be an exact port of the 360.
It's about the Mooch, yeah, man. But that yeah, fuck all that.
leaked by the Mooch
Hey,
4 months before the game came out.
Hey, guys, you know what? Like, if you wanted to be big time or get your game really looked at in a good light,
Like I said, man.
you know what you got to do? You gotta put an indie game on the PS4. Like I've never seen a game like, okay, look.
Yeah, now's the time, everybody.
What the hell's that damn
It
game?
is.
No Man's
Game
Sky,
developers,
right?
get on
No,
that.
No Man's Sky. What the hell is that? Journey, right?
Journey.
A game about nothing. You literally float around, right,
okay,
for like an hour and a half, 2
Yeah.
hours, and that game is getting like the most attention I've ever seen a game.
If you blindfold yourself and hold the analog stick to the left, you will get all trophies and accomplish the game in 2 hours.
Yes, I don't even understand it. I don't understand why people like this game. It's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like why is this game getting attention?
Well, that game's been around
It's
for
the textures. It's the sand.
Hey, but listen, it's
All
safe
that
to say that
sand is
Sony
nice to
gamers
look
are kind of weird.
Sand.
I think it's safe to say that their taste in gaming is kind of weird. It's so
It is weird.
Like some of the shit they be naming Godzilla and Tropico 5, the shit they be talking about. I'd be like, you can't be shit.
Man, remember Hokum?
Hokum?
Vision X? All that little trash, man. That
Whatever
stuff
happened to
horrible.
Vision X? Did that game ever release?
Nobody talked about it. You know, it came out.
What was that one where they were like sword fighting with the Atari graphics?
Oh, I remember that.
Do you remember? Damn it!
Well, all I know is I remember somebody, Alejandro. He's like he
Oh
kept
my
on
God.
talking about how PlayStation 4 has this game. It just came out on Xbox. Isaac, did you see that? Just
The
released.
Binding of Isaac or
The
something?
Binding of Isaac. I'm like, he's telling me he's a big PlayStation 4 fan. You know, I'm friends with him, whatever. But we argue a lot. He's like, yeah, this game is so much better than Ori. I heard it's on Xbox, so I take a look at it. I'm like, is this fucking guy kidding me? It's like a fucking Atari 2600 game.
Yeah.
Ori was good, but geez, that game was tough as hell. Like, man,
I loved Ori. Ori was a good
man,
game.
I was like dead 150 times before I blinked, man. It was like
I
boom,
had to
dead,
end that game like
boom,
twice.
dead. Yeah, I know, like
I
shows
died
that whooped that game's ass.
1,500 times.
Me, no, man. I stunk up that game, man. I did terrible at it.
And
But
maybe it's showing our age, though, crap. But those, like, think about it. That's the games. That game right there is exactly the games every one of us we all grew up playing.
yeah,
That's what it was.
well, this is the thing, right? Like I was looking back, like the Sonic 2D and the Mario 2D. All right, they were just like, you know, you go left to right and you jump over enemies and you jump on them and stuff like that, right? I dig that. But why are they making these things so complicated with the puzzles and then this and there's like so many me, right? I was playing that, you know, I gave it a chance. It was a free game on Xbox Live on Xbox One. I like platformers and it's side-scrolling platformer, so I was like, cool. And I was like, hey, this is kind of cool at first, and then it gets extremely hard with the puzzles and this and that, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, so literally,
It's tough.
yeah, you literally can play it for like 45 minutes, and then you're like, I'm done. I'm not gonna sit there and like try to like rack my brain for 4 hours
I'm
to try
sorry.
to get, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like that. At that
Give me
point,
Quantum Break. Give me
Yeah.
Halo 5.
Exactly,
Come on.
that's
what I'm talking about.
Let's call it like it is. Give me Uncharted.
Quantum Break is next year, so and
Yeah,
Scalebound.
But my point is that those are the games that make your blood flow. These other games, and they talk about parity clause and all this bullshit. The bottom line is that those games are good. They're fillers, but they're not on the same level. Not even close. Halo 5 is bigger than any indie, bigger than 10 indies in content. 15 indies. I mean, it's just that's what I can speak on my personal level, and I think a lot of people think this way because the sales match the way they're thinking. Big AAA titles sell, and that's why that's what your system when you own an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. That's what it's about. These smaller games, they're all cool and fun, but you know what? The PC, you can play them on a PC too, on a freaking laptop. The bottom line is that you want a quantum break. You want cutting edge stuff, and that's what most people want, in my opinion. It's just that a lot of people have these, or they have to stay on one side and they have to be on one argument. I had this guy Jose. He's always arguing with me. He compared Flower to Titanfall to me.
With
And
a name
he
like
hates
Jose,
me.
he's probably a car thief, isn't he?
No,
man.
but the bottom line is that, like, come on, you're really going to compare a game like Flower to
That's when the conversation will be over. That's when the conversation will be over.
the bottom line is AAA is the real deal. Let's
See?
be honest. Let's not pull punches.
Tim, you cannot have a rational conversation with a pony.
You sure can't.
A conversation went over right there. When you can't be honest and call a spade, and say that that is on the same level as Titanfall, like you come on, man, Jesus, go pull someone else's dick. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. It's
Conversational. You can't,
keep it real. Keep it real.
You know what? I will say this, and we all biased to a certain extent. We all have our favorites. But even you take a game like The Last Guardian, which doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. But that's what the Sony gamers like. That's what they like. Maybe Halo may not appeal to them. They may not like, sci-fi shooters. They may like, realistic shooters better with regular guns. Fine, but that's what Xbox fans like. You know what I mean? So but in the same that you can't deny what Halo's greatness or whatever the goddamn.
Nidhogg, Ukane, he just tweeted me. Fucking, that was the name of that game with the Atari graphics with the little sword fighting. Nidhogg. Nidhogg or whatever. Nidhogg.
Yeah, you can keep all that shit. But even check this shit out though. This and like I said, I own a PlayStation 4. Even though my Xbox do, I have the PlayStation just for the exclusive. I let my PlayStation subscription, overlap because I don't have any multiplayer games for it. You know what I mean? With that being said, so I go and I, pre-order again Street Fighter so I can get the Street Fighter beta. You know what I mean? For 4 fucking days, I couldn't get one match. That fucking network is horrible. That's horrible, man. 4 fucking days, I couldn't get one match. Nothing. Couldn't connect to a server. I never heard about a beta for a fighting game. I heard of a demo, but then we talking about mono and mono. We're not talking about an MMO. That's how trash that. Do you imagine what Call of Duty is going to do to that? You imagine what that beta is going to do to that goddamn network, yo?
I think anybody that was going to seriously consider buying Call of Duty on PlayStation will seriously think about changing their mind if they have both consoles after they play it, because
that's the question Sony fans need to be asking. Why are we paying for this service and it still behaves like a fucking free service?
Yes, they focused on the shiny object, the 1080p, instead of how the game plays.
That's crazy.
And the network.
There's more cover-up going on in the gaming industry than Watergate in the 70s.
Oh,
Are you trying to tell me right now that those pro gamers, the people that are the professional championship gamers that play Call of Duty, that they want to switch to a DualShock 4 where their fucking thumb knuckles are gonna bang into each other? They ain't doing that shit. Like, they are professionals. These guys. You ever see a fucking painter? You ever have a painter come over to your house as a pro, and you're like, "Yo, man, use my brush." And he looks at your brush and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here with that spatula."
You always have these things that you come up with, man.
Tim, did you hear him the other week when he was talking about people going broke on Xbox Live, right?
Xbox Live got me in the red.
Yo,
Xbox Live got me down, dude.
Yo, listen, these are true life experiences, right? I got a buddy, a professional guy that he's been painting for 40 years. And I said to him, "Hey, can you come and hook me up and do this for me?" He goes, "I'll be over." I said, "Listen, let me go get the paint." He goes, "All right." I said, "Do you want me to get the brushes?" He's like, "Don't get the what?" He's like, "Brushes." He's like, "I'm bringing my own brushes." You know what I mean? Like, this dude is serious. I don't give it. Listen, I'm not a professional painter. You asked me to come over and help you. I don't give a shit what you hand me, a roller, a brush.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. One of those Bob Ross.
Yeah.
I'll paint whatever the fuck you want. But like, my point is this. These dudes are professional gamers. They got the scuffs. Microsoft went out and made the Elite controller based upon these professional gamers. These people, right? They did everything they were supposed to. Now you're telling me these pros, they're like, "I'm sorry, everybody, but if you could put the Xbox controller down, we have the DualShock 4, our new sponsors." Get the fuck out of here. That shit, right? Like, what? Get the fuck out of here. They're not using that shit. So between the PlayStation now, or what is it there, PlayStation Network and this new controller, people aren't going to switch like that, man.
But that's what the question you need to be asking. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's not a free service anymore. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Listen, since Thursday, I wanted to play one fucking game of Street Fighter. I couldn't get now one match. And I got fucking Verizon Files, 150 up, 150 down. You know what I mean? IP version 6, bitch. Some next gen shit over here. And it's crazy as hell, man. Like, I've never heard of a beta for a fucking fighter anyway. You know what I mean? You're not talking about an MMO. We're talking about just for a fighter, mano a mano, some peer-to-peer shit here. That's how fucking raggedy that goddamn network is. You know what I mean? So Capcom got a plan ahead of time. We're going to do a beta, you know what I mean? Because Sony shit is fucked up. Imagine when that goddamn, that Star Wars beta comes out and that motherfucking Battlefield beta. It's gonna ass rape the fuck out of the PSN. It's gonna be down for like 5 days. I'm telling you.
Anybody that should be I love the comments we get on Twitter for this video. I always follow. But anyway, yeah. Anybody that doesn't take into consideration the online aspect of any of these consoles before you're buying it, that should be one of the things that you look at when you're about to buy this. This isn't like this isn't 10, 15 years ago where it wasn't important. This is a staple now. A lot of our games are online only. I mean, Titanfall, Destiny, The Crew, The Division. All these games are online only, and basically you're screwed. And so if you aren't online, so why would anybody buy something on PlayStation Network that's going to rely on that? Because first of all, PlayStation Network has they have scheduled maintenance, right? Xbox Live has 0 scheduled maintenance, and then PlayStation Network has other downtime as well. Xbox Live does go down once in a while or has issues. I've never said it was perfect, but in comparison, it is damn near perfect. You know what I mean? Like the fact that it has no scheduled maintenance is amazing. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I like about it. If they were like, hey, I'd be pissed off that we're paying for it. If they were like, okay, well, this Tuesday it's going to be down for 4 hours, and then next Tuesday it's going to be down for 2 hours, and then it also had these little problems, hiccups here and there, I'd be really pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that whole better PSN thing. That faded out fast, didn't it?
Yes, we'll listen.
Like, sure, we'll listen. Okay, yeah. Then they gave you a big fuck you.
They had to dial back to on par with Xbox Live comments. They
was dude, that was the biggest.
Dialed that back 1,000, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the funniest thing, right? Like everybody was all like, "Hey, Xbox Live and PlayStation Network are quote unquote on par," unless you're Ben Kuchera from fucking Polygon writing how PlayStation Network won based on 2003. Who else read that bullshit?
Did you see the opinion piece that somebody
that's
put
what
out?
I'm talking about. That was Ben Kuchera from Polygon.
Yeah, Sony was.
He said it never was in competition with Xbox Live. Sony was never in competition with Xbox Live.
And that's how they won.
The things clickers come up
Hey, you know what? I was thinking, damn, I wish I could come up with something that fucking
that was the crap, the universe of crap right there.
Man, that was.
So I retweeted that crap. I took that article and I sent it out to a Sean Finnegan who works at IGN. He's one of the only guys that still talks to me. He's the Xbox guy that somewhat is an Xbox guy, right? So I wrote to him and I said, listen, you always say I'm full of shit or whatever. So I'm like, here you go. Here's another article. And he goes, well, clearly the guy wrote first and foremost on top, it's an opinion piece. I said, so wait a minute. So I can just get on, write anything in the world I want, bashing whoever. I could bash the president. I could bash Microsoft. I could bash anything and just put opinion. And like I said, you're still affiliated, and it came out on a Polygon website. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, the problem is if it was one opinion piece in the past 12 months or 2, I don't mind. This is 2 a week. And he's like, he never rebutted back to me. We're just getting shit on 2 or 3 times a week per syndicate. Kotaku, Polygon, IGN.
Did you guys see the GameSpot article that just came out?
No.
That they're talking about how Tomb Raider might not be 1080p. It's not clear yet. I mean, come on. I mean, if that's what you're. Why don't you talk about the fucking game? Do journalism. Find out, what's going to be new in the game. And this is what you're talking about. It is the sensationalism. It's that click-based bullshit. That shit has to go. And people, you gotta realize that it's bullshit. If you're a PlayStation 4 fan, you should even realize that that's bullshit. That's not right. Like, really?
Has the developer said it was Canadian already?
Yeah, the developer said, but they're still putting in a fucking article that it might not be. God forbid it was 900p in fucking cutscenes. That's what fucking people hold on to. I mean, give me a fucking break.
That's a great point, Tim, because actually the development, like the main part of the thing was it's 1080p with 4 months to go. The actual game is, right? So, but they're like, well, you know what I'm saying? They're doing what they're typically do.
Well, they want it to be 900p so they can get their clicks. Well, go fuck yourself.
Oh,
that's what else.
Listen, we know the specs of the machine. We know what's going on here. That is not journalism. That is pure, and that's a big site, GameSpot. That's a big site that
I completely avoid them 100% now.
Why would you? That's what you're talking about. They're unsure of. So that's what you're fucking going with today. The developer said, why don't you wait till fucking the Digital Foundry tells you what it is, and then you can write a click-based article. But the bottom line is that it shouldn't be about that. It should be about what's new, and you know what's going on, how many levels, how long it is. Why don't you asking questions about that? Instead, you're asking about fucking resolution. Is beyond me. It really is. I can't believe we're still fucking having this talk, and and this is what's going on. Develop, and they'll act like it's a big deal if it's 900p in the cutscene. People will brag about that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, dude, the latest thing is right, because it's gonna be 1080p 30 frames per second. People are like, well, maybe when it gets to the PS4 it'll be 60 frames, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's not gonna be 60 frames. Look, the last gen ports weren't even 60 frames on PS4. They all acted like it was 60 frames. It had an unlocked frame rate that jumps all over the place, and it was like 46, 44, something like that. It wasn't those 60 frames per second. This is the problem. Like this is the problem that Sony fans have. And I did a video and like broke a bunch of pony legs, and a lot of people. I don't know if you guys watched it, but I got a lot of people were like, hell yeah, good going. Because this is the thing, Sony fanboys have a way of thinking that everything's a win for Sony. Right? Well, we get Tomb Raider a year later. Oh, that's a win for Sony. PlayStation Network's been down 6 times this month, and you couldn't access the beta, but Xbox Live was down for 2 hours today, so that's a win for Sony. Right? Everything's a fucking win for Sony, no matter what it is. Like, no matter how ridiculous it is. I got in an argument with somebody on Twitter the other day because they were saying that Gears of War Ultimate was a quote-unquote remaster, even though the head of the coalition, Rod Ferguson, tweeted out that it was a remake because they took the assets back down and did this and redid this and all this stuff.
Audio and all types of shit.
Yeah, this is the actual head of the studio, Rod Ferguson, saying a remake, right? At that point, it's fucking case closed. Case closed. But these Sony fanboys were like, no, it's a remaster. It even says so right here, remaster. I'm like, look, how can you argue this when the head of the studio has just tweeted out remake and his reasons as to why, right? I mean, those are the type of people that we're arguing with. They're so fucking thick-headed that they'll never understand what we're trying to say. They just blow it off. Hey, guess what? Journey's so great. It gets a 10 out of 10. Great. It got a 10 out of 10 4 years ago. That's the problem. That's the problem. That is the problem with the PS4.
I wonder what Rare Replay is going to get. I wonder what the fuck they're going to complain about that, because
I got a feeling it's going to get a 7 or 7s and 8s mostly.
Yeah, and meanwhile, then they give The Last of Us 9.5s across the board, and
even though it was glitchy as hell, apparently.
Now let me ask you: was the Last of Us online? Was that dedicated servers like it is with Gears?
I don't know, but I don't know. But you know what's funny is, do you know how Halo 5 got all this hate for having what do you call them? Microtransactions, right? For like clothes and stuff. The Last of Us on PS4 has microtransactions for everything. Pay-to-win transactions, like free-to-play, right? You can buy bigger guns, kill animations, all this shit, right? No sites ran with this, really. I mean, no sites. But all of them ran with how Halo was gonna like be microtransactions and how it was terrible and the most awful thing in the world. It was like the most fucking ridiculous one-sided thing. And people think we're crazy or we wear tinfoil hats because we bring this shit up. Dude, all you got to do is look at these sites. I mean, look at somebody pointed this out to me, and I think I talked about it with Mooch on Wednesday. IGN was doing an article on the PS4 maintenance. And in this article for maintenance, they mentioned that it sold 23 million, and then it mentions that the Xbox was at under 10 million as of last November, and that was shipped to stores and not actually sold, right? Like, what the fuck does any of that have to do with the maintenance on PlayStation? Maintenance problem. You know what I mean? This is the shit that I'm talking about. This is why we do what we do, and it's not because we can all sit there and admit that we prefer Xbox, and that's fine. But again, Next Gen had no problem calling out Microsoft. None of us had a problem calling out Microsoft when we felt the need to. So as far as I'm concerned, the fact that we will keep it as real as possible, damage control here or there, have fun with it. But at the end of the day, gamers. From a legal standpoint, and hey, Mooch, I mean, when they port over that 360 version, you're gonna look like a goddamn genius.
Wait and see. Hey, Tim Dog, listen. When they do that, I want you to get me a special limousine that brings me right to Redmond. I want to be charioted right over there.
You want a chariot?
I want Phil Spencer to open the door for me and be like, "How the fuck did you know that?"
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
It's in your hands, Boo.
Don't you worry. Listen. I got news for you guys. Anybody who wants to rewind this show and listen later on, anyone who's not from New York, Tim Dog, when he said, "Get the fuck out of here," that was a DEFCON 10 from New York. He meant that from his heart. When someone from New York, when someone from New York emphasizes the an F and the at the end, that means you're a dead motherfucker. Right?
Get the fuck out of here.
He said, "Get the fuck out of here."
It's just annoying, though. It really is. I mean.
Yo, Tim Dog, you were serious right there for a minute. I'm telling you.
I know. It's like I can't believe I'm reading that, and then it's like, you know.
That's why I've been saying from the longest that I don't fuck with those sites.
Yeah,
you know, they said, you know, that I'm just being paranoid. No, it's a bunch of bullshit. I've never seen, you know, the Xbox, you can't find the settings. What the fuck was that?
That was bad. And then the girl said, the girl at the end, what I always remember, she's like, and then you have all these games that are 60 frames per second on PS4, these multi-platform games, and 30 frames per second. She said games. It was plural. There was only one game, and it wasn't even 60 frames per second. It was running at 50, and that was Tomb Raider. There wasn't more than one game. So the people there, with that whole video was a disgrace. There was so many things that were actually wrong with that. That being one with the games frames per second, like every multi-plat game has 60 frames per second and Xbox is 30. There was one game, and then also with the fucking settings. I mean, how stupid are you? Come on.
Yeah, no.
You know, and then
there's gonna be something that comes out. There's gonna be something that comes out. We don't know when it'll be. It'll probably be a couple of years from now. Maybe the end of this generation, this one here. But there's gonna be something that comes out eventually to find out, because there's no way. The same way that you can't tell me that there's something coming from the top down in Japan that 100 Xboxers are sold a month. There's no way you could tell me that every single human being for the gaming
you're just
media
a racist.
has
That's all that is.
opinion that the PlayStation 4 is better than the Xbox One. That you cannot feasibly, you couldn't find that anywhere. I mean, there's no way to pick any subject. You know, even if you were to go into the South where they love Coca-Cola, there's at least two dudes that are like, I kind of like Pepsi. No shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say every single person, whether it's GameSpot, IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, every single one of them, I mean, every one. You watch the IGN podcast, Unlocked, and you've got 5 guys sitting there that are supposed to be Xbox fans talking to an Xbox audience, talking about Destiny, how much they hate Destiny on the PSN, how much they hate the Power Brick. I wish that Xbox One was thin like the PS4. And I'm like, you stop and you're halfway through the show and you're like, am I on the wrong channel? I'm an Xbox guy. There's a green screen up, and they're just talking about PlayStation. Then you listen to Podcast Beyond, which is the Sony station, and no matter what, PSN could have been down for the week, and they'll be like, what'd you guys do? Well, PSN was down this week, but I found it a really good time to play some single-player games, guys. Right? Yep, let's go. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, there's never anything negative on the Sony side. So there's a conspiracy here, guys. And I know it sounds ridiculous to keep saying that because you start thinking about these ridiculous movies we've all seen, and it sounds ridiculous. It's not, though. There's no way that 500 people in the gaming industry all love Sony. Like, name one person for me right now, and even Shaggy doesn't count. Does anybody know one person that works for any publication that's they can't have the word Xbox in their publication? Like, you can't use an Xbox Mad Guy because naturally, right? But like somebody in one of the major 5 affiliates that you could say to me, this guy is just flat out Xbox guy. I can't think of one person, not one, and that's ridiculous. I mean, whether you're talking about Democrats and Republicans, there's even, you watch those shows around Sunday morning like Crossfire and all that other shit, there's at least on the panel they have one poor dude who gets hit in the face because he's on the other team. You know what I'm saying? They never an Xbox dude.
That dude be so close up on that mic, he be just be getting on my nerves. He be sounding like this. He'd be like, yes, the power brick. I just can't. I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
It's brutal.
They too close to the mic for me. I'll be like, man, let me get off of here, man. This audio is messing with me.
Finally, one dude on that show, though, that one episode where they're talking about the power brick, I will say this much. So all of us know that this is a non-issue. This is a non-issue no matter what console you like. Once you get done taking that power cable out and you hook it up to the back, you plug it in the wall, the next time you take that out is 2 steps. When you're evicted out of your house, the next goddamn console comes in. Other than that, that shit's staying in the back of the damn entertainment center. So the one guy was like, no, you have to have the power inside the unit. It makes it easier for transportation. Finally, Shaggy shut the dude up on time, and he's like, honestly, because it's our profession, what we do, we're the only people that actually transport these boxes left and right. I wanted, if I was on the show, I would have been like, that's because you fucking cheap bastards won't go buy one for work and one for fucking home. It's $350. Look under those couch cushions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk like them.
God,
Look under the
They get the
couch
console
cushions.
free.
come on, yeah, they got free consoles, free games. You bastards picking the shit up, putting it in his backpack. You're a grown man. You're wearing a
I don't
backpack.
think they ever bought a console.
Yeah.
Start talking from here on out like them. Yes, I'm just.
Good invitation show. Nailed that shit. You nailed that.
Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys got any questions for the Big Game and Small Talk podcast, let them fire it up now. I'm gonna refresh the page here. Do a couple of you guys questions. You guys are funny as hell, man. We got the best show on fucking YouTube.
We do. People, we wonder why we get hate, man. The lead dog's always got the bullseye.
Yeah, I mean, just in case you missed it. No, we ain't missed your dead ass channel, Dick Puller. I squeeze that nigga dick. Dick Puller. Now I ain't saying no names, but if you's a Dick Puller, if you making videos about people that don't even have a YouTube channel, use a real live Dick Puller. Get on some pulling Mook's dick.
Amen.
Say they got into a fight in prison. Yeah, I pulled that nigga dick. What? Oh, he really said that shit, though. I'm bullshit you not. I had the audio. Yeah, I got into a fight. He was telling the story, one of his war stories. Yeah, I got into a fight. Yeah, I pulled this dick. Like, what? What type of fight was you into, bro? You was naked from the waist below? Who the fuck fights like that and pulling dicks? I'm saying, I've been jumped by like 6 dudes. That was the last thing across my mind. I got jumped in jail.
Look, he getting hit across the head with a couple of bees, like pop, pop, pop. Wait a minute. I'm going to grab his balls. Things like that in the middle of the fight.
I've been through a couple fights, man.
That's not going to happen, bro.
Listen, check it out. I got shot. Then they jumped me. The gun jammed. They pistol whipped me. And that was the last thing of my mind pulling somebody's dick. I was trying to get low. You know what I mean? That was the last. I ain't wounded on the battlefield. Now, you know what? I can get away if I just pull his dick. I know I can disable him. Like, what the fuck want to pull a dick? Trying to get somebody in a hand job when he wouldn't know how to fight him.
Oh man, he's doing a reach around fight.
Yeah,
doing,
reach around and reach it all. He want to reach around and reach it all. He type of nigga wash nigga up with his mouth. Yeah, seriously. All right.
And we got to get back to the break.
All right,
back to this power break.
Let me see here. We got some questions here for the big game.
Xbox Master says, I have a question. Where the hell are the games for PS4? I'm not talking about that dirt you call I Am Bread. He wants to know where the real games are. Well, supposedly next year is supposed to be a decent year with Street Fighter and Uncharted 4 and possibly that Horizon game, but no chance that like the Last Guardian, not that I carry the way, but no chance that like the Last Guardian and stuff comes out next year. So,
hey, when is they going to get a new UI?
They never are going to get a new UI.
They're not.
God,
man, that blue is just hideous.
Yeah,
That's
they're
one of the things some people like. They like the way it's fast. I can see that in some aspects, but my opinion is that they really don't. They don't have. They need to get shit like you can't even show yourself offline, right?
They're terrible. Oh my gosh, the Stalker is back. Jesus.
There's a lot of things that you.
I'm not even going to say his name next year.
You can't do. You know, there's like you.
Raider.
No. It's a Stalker from early on in the days.
Oh, I already know who that is.
Who happened?
Yeah. Is Gunners back out there?
Oh, you're talking about he been behaving himself though. He ain't been too bad though,
Yeah,
man.
he's
Gunners
no,
all
he's-
right, man.
dude,
He
no,
ain't
no,
been
no,
playing
Gunner
well
hasn't
back
been
in the
going
day.
crazy.
He's
Yeah.
up in the comments, dude. He's got comments like every 3 times. Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can you make the show extra long? I'm loving it. It's 2:22 in the AM in the UK, dude. We
For you
do
in the
what we
UK,
can, man.
sir,
You know what? I
we're gonna
told
make
you
it
guys
extra
it would
long.
be. We got that power
I
break.
gotta sound like
guys.
IGN now.
That
Yes,
power break.
we're gonna do the show for about 2 hours now.
Hey, show. Tell us about that power break.
I like that voice, that
That
IGN
power
voice.
What do
Man,
Let's
they be up
see.
on that mic, boy. I mean, he be worried so how close he is to that mic. It just get on my nerves.
Oh, hipster her hero says, "Do you think all first-party games for Xbox will be 60 frames per second?" No, sir.
Now it depends on the development, what game it is. You know what I mean? But we're not going to see. Honestly, well, this is my prediction. I said this early on. Don't be surprised once the DirectX 12 gets in full motion that you see some games 1080p 60 frame on the Xbox One and 1080p 30 on the PS1. I still stick to that statement. I say 2016-17. I think we're going to see that. Maybe the Xbox will start to pull away from the PS4 because of the optimization, and then anemic CPU that the PS4 has.
Yeah,
That's my
exactly. Well, what's funny is, hey, Tadpole says, isn't it funny how we haven't heard anything about the Better PSN campaign since it started?
Maybe because they got him winning my video like the other day, man. That was fucked up. That's horrible, Sony. I mean, I'm serious, man. Am I wrong? Have you guys ever heard of a beta for a fighting game? We are talking about an MMO or a shooter.
Well, everything, nowadays everything almost gets a beta. It's almost like a way to
crap, a
sell the
demo
game.
for a fighter.
Yeah.
Just come on, one versus one online. That's it. We not talking about no 32 players in a room. We just talking about mano a mano.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a beta for a fighting game.
I haven't either, but it's like all the rage. And honestly, what else does Sony have? You know what I mean? Like that was like their big deal for the year, honestly.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna put it back up live because I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like Jesus, if this is what I have to look forward to before Street Fighter V, I'm not even gonna get the goddamn game.
No,
Scrolling through these comments, Mooch is gonna have a really popular channel when he gets it going.
Mooch is gonna be the shit.
I wanted to get it going already. He'll do the baseball.
I know, dude. I told him, look.
I want to do
Mooch.
the baseball hour with him.
Mooch,
Baseball hour.
Get your channel. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that, but
I know, right?
Mooch and I were talking about the Mets all day today.
We're a minority there, Tim.
I know. We won't get hits there.
You'll get like 5 views.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Hey, Frame Drop Station 3.1 says, is Forza Horizon 3 coming out next year?
Yes.
Yeah, Playground Games already said that they're working on it. Yeah, I mean that game.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's my favorite racing series.
I just finished it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, did you get? You got to try the Storm Island DLC. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, like the Storm Island is fantastic. Kevin Perez says, "Where is Worry Wart?" Worry Wart lives in like a weird time zone now, like
He lives in Amsterdam or some
Colorado
He's
or
on,
some shit.
he's
right?
on Mountain Time.
shit. He's on Mountain Time, and he's
So he doesn't even get in until after 10 Eastern.
But he has a second job though, feeding hamsters or some shit.
Yeah, like there's something about that, man. He does. No, it's gerbils. He's doing something with gerbils. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of questions, Mooch, about when's your channel starting. So I'm just thought I'd throw that out there.
Hypothetically speaking,
going.
I've been tweeting it out. I've been working on it. Actually, today I did a test run. We're gonna probably looking at the first week in August.
First week in August. We already hit first. So next week, that's the first week in August.
Yeah,
Week
that's
after
actually
next.
this week.
Week
Oh,
after
Gamescom. You know what I mean? Speaking of which,
That's what I thought. I thought a launch on the same week as Gamescom would be good for everybody.
Listen, I just want to say this: Are we going to hook up on Gamescom? We can see that because the Tick podcast.
What time is it on?
I don't know.
Yeah, Tick did. And
You know what? It's like
Bgst.
10. It's like 10 a.m. our time, right? Like on.
Oh crap! Are you working?
I don't know yet. Like I'm gonna have to find out what's going on.
What time is it? It's 10 in the morning.
10 a.m.?
Yeah, 10 a.m. man.
Okay, yeah, I'm here, so I'm good.
I mean, I could probably
ain't gotta
take off the
leave
morning to
work
do the
till
show. I'd have
3.
to bounce after the show. But yeah.
Okay, well, all right. Well, so like I said, I'm here. I don't have a job. I sell coke out the house. Out the bando. I sell coke and dope out the
Hey,
bando.
dude, you know what, dude? You know
Next
what?
gen
Like
be
a lot of
selling
people.
bricks.
He's selling bricks.
I'm selling coke and dope out the bando.
Selling them bricks.
Selling them bricks.
Out the bando.
Oh man.
Get my trap clean.
Hey, Demon Wolf says, "Mooch for president."
No, thanks, Demon Wolf.
He's gonna
Appreciate
run with
that,
Donald
brother.
Trump. He's gonna run with Trump.
Yeah, me and Trump on a one ticket.
Yes.
Hold on, here's a question.
Crap game, the Donald Trump of gaming, racist bastard. That's it. I ain't racist.
Liquid Aram says, "Hey BGST, question: do you guys think you'll ever become a bigger brand like GameSpot or IGN? BGST, I think, could be big, making articles, getting interviews at E3 and Gamescom. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, we have some big ideas and things like that, but our outgoing nature and like Next Gen just made a joke about bricks of cocaine, right? People run with that, right?
Yeah.
People actually think that this stuff is serious, or hey, Crap Gamer's a racist because he said something about rice eaters one time. You know what I'm saying? Or Mooch is a racist because he thinks that Americans should buy an American Xbox and boycott the Japanese PlayStation, right? So people, because we have these a lot of times it's like joking or just strong like opinion or whatever, right?
Hey, Mooch.
People go and run and tell those things
Hey,
to
Mooch,
these people.
do
And
not,
then,
when you have your intro,
Yeah.
do not have Hulk Hogan, I am a
I am a true American hero.
I told you he was a racist.
I knew it. And yo, listen to Hogan though. Hogan lost his motherfucking mind. Jesus Christ.
Well, how long ago was it that he said that?
It was a while ago.
It's still though, but we said,
That was the privacy of his own home, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I guarantee you that his daughter did that.
No, it was during the
Privacy
deposition.
of his own home.
It was during the deposition of the sex tape or something that came out.
I heard it was in his house. I heard
No, I thought it was during the
somebody.
deposition. What you think was worse, this or the Bill Cosby scandal?
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. That's
Bill Cosby's raping women.
Hey, look at that bitch a Quaalude. Man, the fuck?
No, a lot of
he's
them. You're
raping
talking. Yeah, he's raping them.
He has 40,
Come on,
he has
man.
40
I
rapes.
mean, come on. My thing is, though, like Bill, Bill didn't have to rape them bitches, though. He's a fucking Indian billionaire.
He did though. I mean,
He just had to put
allegedly.
somewhere.
He get them
Allegedly,
bitches
but-
foreign filth. He get them bitches to filth, foreign filth. Jesus, Bill.
Well, Hulk really screwed up, man, because
Yeah.
Hey, you think about Hulk? Hulk was
he had
all
so
American,
many
though.
fans too. You know how many fans are heartbroken because of that? Because
Hey, this is what I'll
killed.
say as someone who's been a victim of like things taken out of context. We don't know this guy, so I mean, I'm not gonna judge him off of like something that was like leaked out or whatever.
know,
You know what I mean?
it was
It'd be
pretty bad,
stupid
Did you
because
hear it?
anybody, dude.
Did
Well,
you
no,
hear
I
it?
mean, I heard.
He said he didn't want his daughter
No, I didn't.
fucking a billion. He read his daughter be fucking a $100 million nigger basketball player or some wild shit like that. He didn't say nigga. He said nigger
Yeah.
multiple times. Like he meant that shit.
I mean,
with
I
soul.
haven't heard. I haven't heard it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. There's no possible way for me to comment on this.
Next gen didn't have to say it like that, though.
No, but he you say nigga, you know what I mean? Like nigga, you say nigga
from his soul.
like you say nigga, you know what I mean? Like that's my nigga. But he said, yo, nigger. I mean, you heard the ER, like, I'm Hulk Hogan, motherfucker, ER, nigga. I'm like, damn. And I felt bad for him. Man. I know he feels about this
You would have
video.
been safe if you'd have said brother.
Yeah. You know what, brother? You know what, nigger? You know what, nigger?
Hey, I did.
All the beers, the training, and the vitamin, nigger.
Hey, I did see an interview with why he started saying "Hey, brother" to everybody. It was because he was partying real hard and he could never remember anybody's name. So
Yeah.
he would just start calling them brother, like, "Hey, brother," you know what I mean? Because he was always so fucked up that he couldn't remember people's names. Like, you know what I mean? That was great. Let's see. Okay, so what do we want to do? Take like 2 more questions?
Yeah, we can if you say some more.
Okay, hey, so Liquid says, "Hey, Showstopper, could you please do a series on that pony voice? It's hilarious."
What pony voice?
The one you was doing.
That wasn't a pony. That was Xbox dudes on that channel. That Mooch was talking about. He was watching.
Yeah, that was Podcast Unlocked.
Paul has unlocked.
Hey, yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about that brick.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil Spencer, the PS4 is a beast.
He said, I don't know, but that PS4 is a beast.
PS4 was a beast.
I don't really want.
I love
No.
that.
Are you guys gonna come out with a bigger hard drive on the Xbox One? Because I don't want a bunch of cords and stuff hanging all over my Xbox One.
Yeah.
That's garbage. I want a bigger hard drive. So, is there any way that you guys can make that happen?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is Phil. I know you're a huge fan of. My name's Justin Ligari. And, I only play Destiny on the PlayStation, so I can't play with you. How about the brick? The worst fucking meme of all time. Why does he have a job? Why does that guy have a job?
I don't know. I don't.
Man, those some corn muffins, man. Sorry. Don't listen to them dudes, man. Goodness.
Oh shit, man! Send a moment of silence to Bobby Christina, passed away. Jesus. Wow, Bobby Christina. Oh well. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
What an asshole!
No, I'm just saying, that's it though, man. Like, Jesus, man, you know, motherfucking.
Oh my God.
Daughter with drugs, Jesus Christ.
What'd she die of? What she do?
You know, Bobby Christina.
20. I don't know her honestly.
Oh, Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston's daughter, Ted.
Oh, okay.
They pulled the plug on her, the life support shit, and they put her in a home or something.
Oh, that's right. Didn't she?
Yeah, she just passed away just now. I just seen the flash across CNN.
That sucks. Yeah, I'm reading it too.
Yeah, well, you know, but anyway, thank you guys for rocking up extra long today. We had fun, and we catch you guys next. What's next?
Shout out to the 251 people.
Are you serious? Didn't Ryan in the second interview, because I didn't watch it, didn't he say something about the Beast comment? Like, did
Yeah,
It was when he interviewed the
I-
first interview with Phil Spencer.
Yeah, so interview
Right.
And he said that.
I don't
he
know,
said,
man. That PS4 is a beast.
No,
PS4 is a beast.
I remember
It's
when
a
he
beast.
did that. Didn't you have another interview with Phil after that, and then refer to that, like, you know?
I don't know. I don't know if Phil
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Phil going back up there after that beast comment. Like, what? Ew. Like, Jesus. Yoshida, no. But anyway, we catch you guys. It's in your hands. We catch you guys next Sunday.
Yeah.
Big Game and Small Talk Podcast, the best podcast on YouTube. And to all you blick pullers, keep pulling dicks and sleep with male tricks. We out here. Bang, bang.